Halo Infinite is 343's next entry in the Halo series, currently scheduled for release in holiday 2020. Hi there, I'm Forbear, and today I wanted to go over when I believe Halo Infinite is going to release, why I'm not worried about the game itself, why we haven't seen any of the marketing just yet, and what I would like to see in my dream scenario for a Halo Infinite reveal. Let's get into it. There are only 200 days left before Halo Infinite's release. At least that's what I think. I want to talk about how there are feasibly only about 200 days left before Infinite's release, should the Xbox Series X release in a traditional end of November window that we've come to expect with console launches. You see, there's no actual release date that's been made public yet. Halo doesn't have an extremely consistent release schedule itself either. For example, Halo CE and Halo 2 released in November of 2001 and 2004 respectively. Halos 3, ODST, and Reach all released in September. Halo 4 in November again, and then Halo 5 in October. Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2 both released in the month of February of 2009 and 2017 respectively. Halo Infinite, which is planned for launch on Xbox One, Microsoft Windows, as well as the Xbox Series X, will likely release alongside the Series X to promote sales of the device. But when will this happen? We can try to use some deductive reasoning to try to pinpoint a date on the launch of the console itself. Unfortunately, this also gives us a range of dates. The North American dates are as follows. The original Xbox released on Thursday, November 11th, 2001. The Xbox 360 on Tuesday, November 22nd, 2005, and the Xbox One on Friday, November 22nd, 2013. The dates being the same between the 360 and the Xbox One are a happy coincidence in my opinion, and I doubt that we'll see the Series X follow suit. But if we look at how media and tech releases these days, we can make an estimate that a Friday release is extremely likely. But to be on the safe side, we'll go ahead and say that the console will release in November of 2020. We can narrow that down. I'd say that a safe bet would be between Tuesday, November 17th, 2020, and the rest of that week by Friday, November 20th, 2020. There are 3 dates in this week-long time span that I can see the marketing team wanting to land on. The first one being November 17th. The date listed out in North America reads out 11/17, which could be a nice little Halo Easter egg in the double ones and the 17, or one of the ones from November and the 17th of that month. Just a cool little Halo Easter egg in that scheduled date. We also know that there is a little Master Chief insignia inside of every Xbox Series X, making this date a good potential candidate. The second date would be November 19th, 2020. This is likely, in my opinion, strictly because it is a nod to the Xbox brand turning 19 years old this year in 2020. I don't see any other reason for it. It is also a Thursday, but that is kind of where I am penning this release date. I believe that it is a contender, but I don't think it's the most likely. The third, and in my own opinion, most likely date is Friday, November 20th, 2020. This is extremely appealing to marketing and big tech launches, given the repetition of the 20 in the date being 11/20/2020. It's very easy to remember, and therefore very easy to generate excitement around. This day also falls on a Friday, which is very typical for big media and tech releases, as I said before, to happen these days. All of this considered, the 3 dates I've given the launch of the Xbox Series X to, I give it to November 20th, 2020. Like I said, I believe that this is the strongest contender. This means that the launch of Halo Infinite would also be November 20th, 2020. I know you didn't click on this video to listen to me ramble about console dates, but rather to see how close we are to the launch, which is about 200 days, if I haven't made that clear enough yet. Why I'm not worried about the game, why we haven't seen the marketing, and when I think we will see it based on upcoming schedules of announcement that Xbox already has lined up. Let's take a closer look at some of those. In order to start looking at announcements, we need to go back further. Let's look at Halo 5 Guardians as an example for some marketing. Halo 5 Guardians released in 2015 to mostly positive critical reviews and largely mixed fan reactions. The fans were frustrated that the game didn't play out the same way that the infamous marketing led us to believe it would, and ultimately disseminated into what I personally believe to be the natural arc of Cortana's character. Not to tangentialize too far, but myself and a subset of the Halo fanbase have expected Cortana to be nefarious to some extent since the end of Halo 2, and this culminated in a story that I felt was solid, minus very obvious missteps in the largely Fireteam Osiris-led campaign, as well as other interesting or, depending on your outlook, bad story choices, for a lack of a better word. Halo 5 Guardians began its marketing campaign in full swing in a different way than Halo Infinite has, or rather will, once things began to pick up. At E3 2014, we learned of a beta that was successfully planned and launched in the winter of 2014, nearly a year before the game would release. In March of 2015, there was a Tumblr page launched for Halo 5's Hunt the Truth marketing campaign, of which is no longer active, I found during my research for this video. That marketing campaign then led into a trailer revealed during The Walking Dead that Sunday night. The trailer featured a sniper rifle round fired at Master Chief's Mjolnir Mark 6 helmet, and it shatters. In the following weeks, on March 22nd, 2015, we would get the Hunt the Truth podcast series starring Keegan-Michael Key, which would run for 2 seasons, the first of which was 14 episodes, if you include episode 0, and then the second season, which was 6 episodes. This marketing campaign led to a largely disappointed fan base because it wasn't paid off in the actual game, and some argue that it created a far more compelling story than the game itself. Hunt the Truth is one of my favorite pieces of expanded universe for the Halo franchise, as well as in games media in general. I think it's a very well-told story. I believe Keegan-Michael Key nailed it, completely knocked it out of the park with his narration and in the starring role in that podcast series. But fans were understandably disappointed by what transpired in the game and how little conflict there actually ended up being between Chief and Locke. So it is common knowledge that Halo Infinite is coming this year. It is, and until 343 says otherwise, there's no reason to doubt that. Minimizing the amount of time and chances to taint the experience with a long and elaborate marketing campaign are certainly in the best interests of not only the developers looking to financially succeed with Halo Infinite's launch, but also us as the fans looking for a game that isn't ruined by certain expectations being set by a potentially misleading campaign again. What else do we have to look at now? Well, this upcoming Thursday, May 7th, 2020, the Xbox Series X gameplay reveal is scheduled to be broadcast to the world as a part of Inside Xbox. This reveal is going to include third-party games only, so no Halo Infinite. My best bet on this is being maybe 30 minutes or so, given the past Inside Xbox experiences that we've received. Potentially, however, tail-ended by a teaser, either for a first-party reveal event in general, or if they're smart, Halo Infinite itself, along with a date sometime in mid-June, early July at the very latest, for a big reveal of first-party games and what to expect. Aaron Greenberg took to Twitter to let everyone know to expect something this summer and to only expect third-party games at the upcoming May 7th event. This makes an extreme amount of sense given the cancellation of E3 due to the ongoing pandemic that the world is currently in the midst of. So a summer event to reveal the Xbox One's first-party games makes a ton of sense. E3 itself is usually in the first 2 weeks of June, so it's reasonable to expect that the first-party games reveal event will be then. So now we have an idea as to why we haven't seen the game, when it might release, and when we could expect to see some marketing start to pop up here in just a few weeks. However, if I could have it my way, things might turn out a little differently. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. We know that the May 7th, 2020 event is the third-party game studios reveal event. We know we're going to see games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla there, as well as other third-party titles. We know that we will see some first-party games sometime in the summer, likely June, like I said earlier, if Lady Luck be on our side, but what if we got a reveal day just for Halo Infinite? It's not as crazy as you might think. We actually got one for Halo 4 back in March of 2012 in the form of a Vidoc as well as some media outlet previews. This wasn't some huge summer event like E3. This was Halo 4 Day for me back in my senior year of high school. I watched the making of Halo 4 Vidoc 100 times at least, trying to find every little tiny detail that I could. So I don't see why not, as far as Halo Infinite recreating something like that. I don't see why we should expect that it be lumped in with all the other first-party titles. Of course, it is Microsoft's biggest and most important first-party title for 2020, but that doesn't mean that it has to be only at this event. So like I said earlier, I think if Xbox is smart, we'll get that Halo Infinite teaser at the end of the third-party reveal inside Xbox gameplay smorgasbord. If we do get a teaser for Halo Infinite at the end of that reveal on May 7th, we could potentially imagine getting a date for a trailer or Vidoc that would release sometime by the end of May or maybe in early June. I imagine this trailer being a small tease for campaign and then a pretty big fun look at the multiplayer as well as dates for flights. Remember, we are getting a series of Halo Infinite flights, and it would make a lot of sense that we get to see that teased as closely to those flights as possible, just like we are with the MCC. We're not really, getting a ton of teasers and stuff like that for Halo 2, which has recently been through its flights. Halo 3 and ODST just got screenshots released, but they're being very careful about showing us too much too soon. You'll remember that we haven't seen any or much of Halo 4 yet. I'd love to see a trailer announcing flight dates at the end of May for flights that begin in the middle of June, then a couple of days before flights start, or maybe during the flights, we get our first look at the campaign through a trailer and maybe some live gameplay, like I said, at a first-party games reveal event. I imagine they show us multiplayer soon, and then we see campaign at that live first-party games reveal. So everything I've said and done, guys, this is what I think we'll have to look forward to in the next 200 days. As soon as this week, we could be getting a teaser, which would be incredible. And by as early as the middle of June, we could be playing Halo Infinite for ourselves. I know patience doesn't come easy during these times, and we're looking at leaks that are just cobbled together Photoshop images and leaked Mega Block sets to hopefully give us a glimpse of what might be and what is surely to come. But just please remember that it is coming. And remember that everything we went over today is, of course, subject to change. None of what we went over, other than the hard dates, are factual. It's all educated guesses that I make by analyzing what the games industry is doing as a whole right now. And with the world being kind of day by day, given the current situation, things are obviously subject to change. Hopefully some of these predictions I've made today do come to fruition. And if not, then it was fun to try to figure it out anyways. And I'm glad you came along for that ride. Now, if you did enjoy this dive into when I imagine we will start seeing things, as well as a potential release date for the game, a like on the video and a subscription is seriously appreciated. I enjoyed researching and coming up with everything that I've presented to you today. So if you enjoyed what you saw, please let me know by keeping up with me here on YouTube, on Twitter at 4Bear, on Twitch, twitch.tv/4Bear. If you have something you'd like me to go over and dissect, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to make a similar video like this again in the future. Maybe some new information is presented or a new trailer releases. Let me know what you would like to see from me. Until then, guys, stay safe and have fun.